Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you from the 1011 Now Alert Center. Ahead of a couple weather alert days that we have issued as the 1011 Severe Weather Team deems dangerously cold temperatures are coming our way for that time frame. As I join you here this evening, it wasn't long ago that Lincoln Public Schools did announce that school will be closed tomorrow due to the dangerous cold. There you can see it for Friday, January 23rd. It will be a school closure day. All Lincoln Public School classes are canceled. Some high school events, though, and practices may proceed as scheduled. So please check with your high school to verify the status. That is what they did end up posting just this evening, just after 7 o'clock. So you heard it here. If you haven't heard it already, Lincoln Public Schools will be closed tomorrow because of these cold temperatures that we really have to talk about. I did want to, though, speaking of school, have a little fun because Carmelo and I, the Weather Shield was out for its second school talk of the week, which that QR code that you can see in this picture, you can use to schedule your own school talk for your own classroom, or if you know your kid may be interested in this, talking to their teacher about having us out. But Carmelo and I did take the Weather Shield out to Christ Lincoln Schools. And we appreciate Sarah Wright for inviting us out. We spoke to third graders out there about the cold coming our way, and they were very interested about severe weather and taking shelter in terms of bad storms. So it was really good to talk to them. Appreciate, again, Sarah Wright having us out. But let's get right into it as we do have these weather alert days in effect for Friday and Saturday. In terms of the details for those days, we are expecting bitterly cold temperatures. Our coldest temperatures of the season so far are coming to settle in across the state. That is going to really impact any plans you may have, maybe some travel too, with some accumulating snow possible. But we are very confident in these dangerous wind chills taking over across the state as low as 20, 25, 30, maybe even up to 35 below, especially Friday morning, but again impacting Saturday morning as we get into these next couple of days. So weather alert days will be in effect even starting tonight into tomorrow morning. These dangerous cold alerts go into effect. You see north central and northeast Nebraska within the extreme cold warning. That will be in effect through Friday morning for wind chills as low as 35 below. The cold weather advisory for everyone else, including Lincoln in that lighter blue shade, that will be in effect through Friday morning for wind chills as low as 30 below. I think for us here in Lincoln, 20 to 25 below, certainly not out of the question. I don't think we'll quite get to 30 below, but nonetheless, once you get past 15 below, frostbite happens in as little as 30 minutes, if not a shorter amount of time. But I did want to just refresh your memory on the differences because we used to have wind chill watches, wind chill warnings, and now they've kind of combined some of that with some of the cold alerts we used to have. So we have just the extreme cold watch, which you may have heard us talk about earlier this week as we were gaining confidence in this cold snap. But now we see the cold advisory and extreme cold warning, depending on where you're at in the state. Cold advisory is when we're expecting wind chills of 20 to 30 below, frostbite and hypothermia possible if precautions aren't taken. But especially within the extreme cold warning, frostbite and hypothermia become possible in minutes. And that within that area, again, 30 to 35 degree wind chills below zero are certainly possible, especially heading into Friday morning. Your forecasted low temperatures tonight do drop below zero almost statewide, I think to around zero in Hebron and Falls City, maybe a couple degrees above zero in the far southwestern reaches of the state. But you'll see Lincoln dropping to 5 below for an actual air temperature, 12 below in Valentine, O'Neill, and Wayne. It is going to be very cold to start out Friday. I'm happy to see that some schools are canceling because you got to think about the kids at the bus stops, any kids trying to walk or bike to school. Some are still doing that from what I had seen in our social media posts and people's replies, but it's just good to keep the kids safe. We haven't had a busy winter season so far. Giving the kids a 3-day weekend. Monday looks cold too. Not sure about that day, but these are your forecasted highs for Friday. Barely getting above zero. I think two might do it for a high temperature in Lincoln, 1 in Tacoma, 1 in Columbus. Some maybe just getting to zero as you look at O'Neill. But the temperature feels like throughout Friday, I wanted to point out that especially tomorrow morning, we'll see those dangerous wind chills dip around 20 to 25 below for much of the morning. Again, an afternoon high of 2 degrees, but still through the warmest portions of the afternoon, still feeling like 10 to 15 below. Your low temperatures by Saturday, again down to about -5. 5 to 10 to almost 15 below as you look at Shatter at -11. But let's talk about your feels like temperatures across the state through time, first by tomorrow morning through Saturday morning. Again, 20 to 30 to 35 below, especially in northeast Nebraska, the worst of those wind chills. The warmest portions of the day tomorrow still feeling like 10 to 20 below. I'm bracing myself as I speak about it because I have to travel tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some tips I have for winter travel if you have to do any of that over this weekend as well. And then your future feels like temperatures by Saturday morning. Not much improvement. The wind should be a little lighter by Saturday morning, and we still have wind chills 20 to 25 below in northern portions of the state. High temperatures on your Saturday do not get much better. 7 in Lincoln is all, 9 in York, 14 in Ord, some 20s out in western Nebraska. And then another cold Sunday. We have been talking about this all week, but I do want to stress the fact that we haven't seen actual air temperatures yet in Lincoln drop below 0 this winter season. And we now have 4 consecutive days in which we could see sub-zero wind chills through Monday morning. That's quite a big change. That's a big temperature swing. We want you to be prepared for it. 30s today, it really didn't feel bad. I was thinking that as I was outside. I was like, oh, that's kind of, this even is starting to feel a little balmy compared to where we're going to be in a matter of hours tonight into tomorrow morning. But there's your forecasted lows for Sunday, forecasted highs for Sunday. Do warm to the double digits for a lot of us. That's the improvement we see over the weekend. I think some models finally lately are trending colder for Sunday and Monday because we may have some snow on the ground, some accumulation across the state, so that's going to make it hard to warm. Makes it easy for temperatures to fall at night. 6 below for a morning low on Monday. Again, around 10 below in northeast, north central Nebraska. But the afternoon gets better, so it's not going to be cold throughout the whole day. As we're talking about Friday and Saturday, most of those days, if not all of those days, I know especially Friday is going to have wind chills below 0 the entire day. Saturday probably too. Sunday we start to get a little bit better, but Monday you're looking at temperatures warming to the 20s, 30s, and 40s. A little improvement. It will just still be really dangerously cold in the morning, that morning as well, before rebounding in the afternoon. Now switching over gears to kind of talk of snow and winter weather, besides the dangerous cold, moving on to talk of snow. This is interesting. Only one office across the state has issued any kind of winter weather advisory. We may see more of this map filled in. As you can see, Kansas is completely filled in with purples and pinks for winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. We are not anticipating winter storm warnings here in Nebraska, but likely a winter weather advisory for much of the state, maybe going to fill in tomorrow morning. I would keep an eye on that if you do have travel. For those in the winter weather advisory for now, that was issued by the National Weather Service out of North Platte. That will be in effect from 6 a.m. tomorrow through 6 a.m. Saturday for accumulating snow that may add up to about 2 to 4 inches. That is the main driver of this winter weather advisory is the snowfall. So plan on maybe some slippery road conditions, especially for those in the winter weather advisory. Hazardous conditions could impact the morning commute and maybe the evening commute as well. Again, we haven't seen south central, southeast, eastern Nebraska, any type of indication of winter weather alerts just yet tonight. That may change as you get up tomorrow. So be sure to watch Brad tonight at 10 o'clock, and then Brandon will have you covered in the morning as things are likely going to change by then. Then I wanted to bring up our snow potential map. This is the official forecast that we have issued as of this afternoon. Carmelo, Brad, working really hard in the office to kind of put this map together. I gave a little bit of my input too, but a good 2 to 4 swath from northwest Nebraska into south central Nebraska and around that Kansas border. We've been talking about this system that is really going to impact the southern states, the deep south, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the deep south. winter weather that they're not used to seeing. Ice, snow, rain, cold, cold rain. We're on the northern reaches of that system, pulling in cold air and Arctic air here in Nebraska, but we're also sandwiched with an Arctic high in eastern Nebraska, which I think will actually limit our snowfall potential. Models are trying to give us some snow in Lincoln, but personally, when you start to forecast snow in Lincoln, it is very hard to get anything over a couple inches, really. So we are not within the 2 to 4. We have us in the trace to 2. 2 to 4 goes down to Beatrice, Falls City. Hastings is included in that. McCook's on the edge. North Platte's on the edge, really maybe closer toward a trace to 2 inches. There's just kind of a band that sets up, I'll show you, from western into central Nebraska and could start as early as tonight into early tomorrow. And then kind of the push from this system from the south brings more snow across the Kansas border for those areas to the south that can see a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere. But in eastern Nebraska, a lot of dry air to overcome. When I see systems like this, I don't get very confident in high snowfall totals for us in Lincoln, toward Omaha, northeast Nebraska. So keep that in mind. As I join you here this Thursday evening past 8:10 o'clock, 8:11 officially on January 22nd, we are seeing some clouds increase overnight tonight, but you can see the city views across the state from Lincoln to Grand Island to O'Neill to North Platte. Right here in Lincoln, the temperature is currently at 16 degrees at the airport, 18 at the studio. Not bad yet, not sub-zero yet. The wind chill's getting close, though. We feel like 5. The wind is not all that bad. The wind will be there at times, and it doesn't take much wind when we're talking this cold of an air mass coming through that we see these dangerous wind chills. Dew point is at 2. That's some dry air. That is some dry air, so we would have to overcome that. Temperatures across Lincoln are in the upper teens to around 20 degrees. The southwest corner of the city, there is a 20-degree reading out that way. Most of us are in the teens. Across southeast Nebraska, more of the same. More 20s showing up in Wymore, Wilbur, Fairbury, Hebron, Superior's at 24 degrees, and then as I expand the view across the state, single digits to the north. The cold air is coming. It is 1 degree in Yankton, 1 degree in Storm Lake, just across the borders, but 8 right now in Wayne, 8 in O'Neill, 6 in Valentine, and the wind chills up that way are below 0 already. You see a northerly breeze for a lot of us, around 5 to 15 here tonight. There's those current wind chills, though, already dipping close to 10 below in northern portions of the state, 20 below almost in Storm Lake. Just hurts to look. It hurts to look at these maps. Hurts to talk about. I think about my face. I think about any exposed skin. Tomorrow, Saturday, not a day to forget the gloves, the scarf, the hat. Because even as you're warming up your car, maybe, still a good idea to keep bundled up, the extra layers. There is a look at the cloud cover, and radar starting to pick up on maybe a few flurries just north of Scotts Bluff. It's not much, but we are seeing the beginnings of what will be kind of a band of snow trying to get going in portions of western and central Nebraska tonight. Mostly clear skies, though, in eastern Nebraska for now. We will see the cloud cover increase. And there is SkyCast showing that band showing up. Really from Chadron down toward Ord. And that's kind of why we've prompted a little bit higher snowfall totals in that area. Because they snow for a little bit longer duration. I don't think it's going to be crazy snowfall rates. But the duration is there to promote some accumulation, and then you'll see some of these blues closer to Kansas turning a little bit darker at times. That system kind of organizing and sending another good push of snow into southeast Nebraska, not until late Friday night. So I think much of Friday, people were asking me, travel Friday, pretty good for a lot of us in southeast Nebraska, unless you're traveling west, which I am, and I will be keeping an eye out for the snow showers, but winter weather conditions. Nothing we haven't seen living in Nebraska, but be careful, take time with you, keep the low beam headlights on so that you're visible in the car, things like that. Then a lot of our models show snow wrapping up by the mid-morning hours, if not maybe the afternoon. It's not going to be a long snow duration, so we're not hammering the snow details. We have the weather alert days in place for the dangerous cold, not for the snow, but there will be, I think, a little snow for especially areas of southern into central and northwestern Nebraska. As you can see where that kind of dolphin fin we were kind of joking about as we drew this. Yes, we joke about the things we draw, but this is the impact of the snow potential. You kind of see that wave of that lighter blue and the 2 to 4 kind of extending through the state and then closer to the Kansas border. Higher amounts to the south, I think a good 4 to 8 inches in areas that we could see, or we're already seeing winter storm warnings for Kansas to our south. But again, I think maybe a winter weather advisory, at least for some of those counties that you see shaded in the 2 to 4 range. And Lincoln's kind of on the edge, but I think I like to lean on the lower end, really, when forecasting any amount for Lincoln, because it is really hard. There's dry air that comes and spoils things, and there's just more to work against snow adding up rather than supporting a big event for, yeah, you get what I'm saying. But as I'm traveling across the state, I want to think of all those other people, since I've already been asked on social media, I may be traveling soon. I want to give you a good reminder of what to keep in your car in case you do break down. I will say Star 55 is a good resource if you need the Nebraska State Patrol to come and respond if you do get stuck or lose a tire, need some assistance, things like that. But these are good items to always keep handy in this season. Blankets, tow straps, jumper cables, water, maybe some snacks, an ice scraper, kitty litter or sand in case of ice. It kind of provides traction for your tires. Matches, maybe a flare. I've seen some lists include flares, but backup batteries are good too, like a bank or something like that. As for your Lincoln Schaefer's forecast tonight, temperature should be around 16 degrees by 9 still, which is kind of currently where we're at. A cold evening, but a bitterly cold morning. Talking about frigid Friday morning temperatures below zero. Actual feels like temperatures 10, 20, 25 below here in the capital city. Way below average. Cloudy. The whole 9 yards cold. A high temperature tomorrow of 2. And there will be some snow possible tomorrow, but again, I think our better chances are really late Friday night and into Saturday. So as you look at the 7-day forecast, we do have 50% chances for snow Friday and Saturday, but largely that's for Friday night into Saturday. And then a small 20% chance on Sunday. It's just very cold. And with this setup, again, with the clouds, maybe seeing a few flurries from time to time. Can't rule that out, but accumulating snow for southeast Nebraska anyway. That time frame would be late Friday night and into early Saturday. Temperatures stay cold next week. We may not climb to 30 degrees in the near future. Upper 20s, middle 20s by next Wednesday, and then looking to drop again into next Thursday around 18. But yes, Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Monday morning. Likely all to be below zero for low temperatures. As we look at the extended forecast, your 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook takes you through the end of the month. We are leaning toward below average precipitation here across southern Nebraska and really much of eastern Nebraska as well. That same time frame for a temperature outlook, kind of in the battleground, but leaning toward cooler than average temperatures. As you see some of those darker blues, that's the better chance at below average temperatures during this stretch. So that's really off to our east. Warmer air off to our west. But there's the 7-day forecast. Almost through the end of the month, January 29th. The 31st will be here before you know it. And I'm hoping spring is here before we know it too. But we have February to get through. So again, not a big snow event this time around, but just be aware that some accumulations up to 2 inches in portions of east central, northeast Nebraska. Again, I think southern Nebraska into northwestern portions of the state. If I bring up our snow potential map again one more time, that's where they have a little higher potential of 2 to 4. So we're not even really talking about moderate snow. I mean, it's moderate for this kind of event, but it's not moderate in general. But there's a look at the snowfall potential, because I know a lot of people usually care about snowfall totals. We're not as concerned with that because it is the dangerous cold in terms of our weather alert days and why we've issued them. So a high in the single digits both Friday and Saturday. Low temperatures below zero, but wind chills throughout most of these days. All day Friday, if not almost all day Saturday, will be below zero. So keep in mind frostbite, hypothermia, definitely not out of the question at this point. When we see conditions like this, if you've got to travel, again, keep those winter kit things handy like I mentioned. Think the warm thoughts. Keep the warm drinks with you. I will be staying as warm as possible, and I hope you do too. We want to wish everyone a safe end to this week, as, again, Lincoln Public Schools did cancel Friday classes tomorrow. They did talk about that just after 7 o'clock, announced it. So keep that in mind. Longer weekend for the kids, so use that to stay warm and make the good decisions over the coming days. And we'll hopefully see you when it gets warmer. But for now, hope everyone has a safe and very warm night tonight into the day tomorrow.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV apps and follow us on social media at 1011 News.